Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And also with us tonight is the man of many hats from Just Giggle It. It's Mr. Joshua Thomas.
Oh my goodness. Just as Loki and Sylvie had to go to the Citadel at the end of time, Tiki and Dragon have found themselves at a podcast at the end of a series. And you guys went through all the guests already. You got the Gullivers, the Connors. Who's left? Oh, he who remains. Me. I wish it was Jonathan Majors, though.
Oh,
Get that man a hat.
All right. Anyways, folks, ladies and gentlemen, such on and so forth, as we find ourselves on the cusp of Disney's big venture into the world of streaming, even courting a war in the process, we thought it'd be nice to stay up to date on the ever-growing catalog and rule on what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus. And tonight it is the season finale, not series finale, Josh. Season. The big credits confirmed it.
My bad. I should have heard.
Of Loki.
Exactly. Loki will return in season 2. I saw the stamp at the end of the episode. Come on now. How you boys doing?
I'm doing well, Josh. I'm not even gonna mix words with you, man. I've got a terrible leg cramp and I'm in a lot of pain.
So much for going on with the show.
I know, right?
Well, I hope it gets brought up throughout.
I'm literally just like struggling to get through it.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
For you, am I right?
I feel it, man. I fell on a set of like 6 stairs on my back and ass last week.
Oh, damn.
It was awful.
Wait, again? You fell again?
I fell. It was 1:45 in the morning. The bar closed at 2. It was my birthday week.
All right.
A little rambunctious, and I was just running down the stairs in Austin, Texas.
Oh, damn.
And just
I told you to be careful.
You told me, but at 1:45, a little intoxicated Josh was there. He's not going to be careful in Austin, Texas.
Can you imagine if at 1:45 you were in Austin, Texas, drunk, and that little voice in your head of Dragon, like, wait, Dragon told me to be careful.
Dragon said, be careful. I should grab the handle on my way there.
Yep,
Idiots.
Yeah. Now we have a variant Josh running around all nice and dandy, fresh as a daisy.
There's a variant of Josh without a bruised right ass cheek somewhere out there.
Yep.
So
right,
anyway,
well, regardless, apparently we're both just really sore. I don't know. At least I am, but I'm keeping with it, man.
All right, Epsom salts.
My muscles
on
are
with the show.
at least Vaseline, and it's not good. I don't know.
Dragging your right as rain.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. And how are we feeling about the episode, guys? Loki. Oh, actually, no. We're here to talk about Rick Dependence Spray, right?
Oh God. How do you feel
for?
about that episode, Josh? I am genuinely curious.
I watched it really late at night, and the opening happened, and then I was like, after it came back from the cold open, I was like, oh, wait, they're actually going to keep going with this?
It was just kind of that crestfallen, like, oh, this is the episode.
This is the episode? Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't their finest moments.
Kind of along the lines of Excitable SpiderMan, but sure, yeah.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't say that. Nothing's that bad.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Maybe Son of the Mask.
Well, they both have similar subject matter.
Yes, very true. Yeah, anyway. All right, Loki, season finale.
All right, so Josh, since you're joining us, tell us what your experience has been with the show leading up to this point before we say how we felt about big finale of the season.
Oh, yeah. I really enjoyed the show when it started. So the first 2 episodes, it's been kind of a ride. Definitely. It's had its highs and lows, as most shows do, but I thought it started off really strong. And, looking back in hindsight, it's just feels like a 6-hour or not a 6-hour movie, probably like a 4.5-hour movie, because every episode was just so vastly different. And I think it's way better to judge it now as a piece the whole season versus individually as episodes. But as all the Disney Plus shows, it's really fun that they're released weekly. So you have the speculation. You can talk about them with your friends. You can say like, "Oh, did you see it this week?" And versus like, "Did you watch the whole, Queen? Did you watch Queen's Gambit all episodes?" I
can relate to that.
Yeah. No, so I definitely enjoyed it. As you guys know, I'm a sucker for time travel. I think ever since it was coming out or the first episode or something, I really wanted to talk to you guys about it because I love it. I love the subject matter. So anytime like something as big as the Marvel universe is going to dive into it, it's really exciting for me. So that's my piece.
Yeah, on the episode itself, I thought this was a solid cliffhanger finale to I assume at least at this juncture a 2-part story. I don't know if we're going to go beyond 2 seasons, but let's just say we're definitely kind of a good 2-part break, as it were. I got my wish big time this episode with something, so I was pleased. Leaves you wanting more, like most good shows. Gave Loki a key role in the multiverse story for sure, which seems really exciting, and kind of paid off some important stuff. Just not the jet ski, not yet, But there's more story to tell. We're gonna get that jet ski.
There better be a fucking jet ski payoff, man.
We are gonna.
We'll get to the Mobius scenes. Good God. But Tiki, what about you? What do you feel about this episode?
I got to admit, I'm kind of feeling Beowulf sentiments in the comments here. I was a little bit lukewarm about it, if I'm being totally honest. It wasn't my favorite of the season by a long shot. It was probably my second least favorite after episode 3. Lee Majors, he's a lot of fun. It's really hard to get a grasp on.
Tiki, not Lee Majors. Jonathan Majors.
Lee Majors.
Lee Majors is somebody.
It's an
Lee
athlete,
Majors,
isn't it?
No, he's an actor. Lee Majors was, if I recall, the $6 Million Man, right?
Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh God.
Yes.
Okay, this is what happens when you literally have the worst leg pain of your life.
Oh, sure. Blame it on the leg pain. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He was about to say,
Jonathan,
what? I
am blaming it on the leg pain.
Lee!
Jonathan,
you've been a good boy this year, Lee.
He's a lot of fun, but is an introduction to like potentially the next big bad of the Marvel universe. I certainly didn't feel intimidated by him. I was interested by him. My curiosity was piqued. That being said, I pretty much put the pieces together that he was going to be the man behind the curtain. Like it wasn't a surprise to me that he was there. Like to me, it would have been a bigger surprise if pretty much anyone but him was there at this point. And honestly, my biggest gripe with this episode is that it's kind of just one big exposition dump that's sort of like, all right, kids, this is what you need to know for the rest of Phase 4 as far as the multiverse shenanigans go. Right. So in that respect, I got to admit, I think it's easily the weakest finale of the 3 that we've gotten so far. Now, WandaVision, like people say, like, oh, it's WandaVision's finale was disappointing because of the fight scenes and everything, and I agree. The fight scenes didn't really, they're just kind of typical Marvel. But like WandaVision wrapped up its arc, man. Like WandaVision had a satisfying conclusion as far as Wanda getting to say goodbye to Vision and the kids goes. Like, I mean, that's what the crux of the show was, and we got it. Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, to me, that's probably my least favorite of the 3 shows, but I think, oddly, probably my favorite of the finales, because it gave us pretty much exactly what we wanted. It gave us an awesome look at Anthony Mackie in the new Cap suit, and it gave us just a fucking excellent landing on the Isaiah Bradley storyline. With Loki, man, Josh, are you a Lost fan?
Yes.
Okay, I was getting major Lost finale vibes, right?
I mean, there's so much vibes I was getting from this finale because it's, we've come so far in film and media that we've seen all these stories in one form or fashion. Like we've seen the lead up to even they say at the end of the quest that you went on the journey to get to the end and the bad guy waiting for you there, the man behind the curtain. So we've seen like so many types of this scenario. And I was very impressed with Loki that they were doing something that I felt was so familiar, but was still like being done well. And I attribute that so much to the acting. Because like you said, it's a huge exposition dump. Like one of my friends who's not a podcaster I watched it with said, a lot of talking in this one. So,
yeah.
There
Tiki.
Yeah.
I feel like coming off of episodes 4 and 5, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like either one of those would have been maybe a better place to end the season on, just because with this cliffhanger, I guess it's honestly the cliffhanger that bothers me, and cliffhanger shouldn't bother me, but like it's like nothing is resolved. And I mean, I know that's obviously the point, but like as a viewer, I'm just kind of like left in the air, like, well, shit, like I was very invested in this, and now it's just kind of like, all right, like, I don't know, I feel like there's a difference between like just throwing a cliffhanger at you like this thing does, or Josh, I'm gonna give you a great a classic Lost example. All right, do you remember the season 3 finale of Lost?
Tiki, I didn't watch Lost like last week, bro. Sorry, I do love.
Okay, do you remember
No, I don't remember the.
You remember the season finale that was like a fake out where it introduced the flash forwards.
Flash forward.
It was like the.
I remember
like
season 4 is where they go to like back in time to like the Dharma project, right?
But
I don't remember how season 3.
It was a season finale, and we had like 2 hours of Jack with a beard, and he was like an alcoholic. We're like, where is he leading? Mm-hmm. And it leads to like, oh shit, this is in the future, and he's off the island. Like, that to me is like, that's a good cliffhanger, but it's also like, okay, so we know he got off the island, it's like, whereas with this, it's just kind of like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't mind if we just ended with Kang. I guess the thing that I minded the most, and we'll kind of loop into it, is I really do feel like my boy Mobius, like, jet ski or no, he kind of got the short end of the stick in this finale.
Dude, and like I said, we're talking about the Mobius. I mean, since you brought it up again, just the Mobius scenes were so underwhelming in this episode to me.
Totally. Especially because it was like we got that whole buildup of I'm gonna burn it down.
We gave
not only that. His one thrust at Ravona failed. I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
He just like sucked and fell down.
We did give him one really nice moment, though, with B-15. The whole, like, for all the episode names, like, for all time, always. Like, we're going with this. Everything's out of whack.
But, Drake, you got to understand, when my expectation is literally him coming in, wrecking shit on a jet ski in the hallways of the TVA, like... It's a little disappointing. It's more than a little disappointing.
But T, isn't that on you though? You had your expectations built up really high on Mobius.
It's kind of on the show for doing such a good job of like, all right, Mobius, go get him.
So okay, well, so your like final consensus is you liked it, but you're not really satisfied with this cliffhanger. Not that cliffhangers are not really.
I feel like this is the best show so far as like episode to episode. It had the highest highs. It had the most consistent intrigue. But by the same hand, I feel like it's got the most disappointing finale, at least until we see how everything winds up. And really, the finale to me was just kind of just like, all right, it's just Marvel doing their Marvel thing of like, see you in 3 different movies to wrap this all up.
Yeah. And I mean, those are my expectations out of Marvel. Like I knew there was going to be a season 2. And I knew nothing about Kang the Conqueror, or any of that, aside from the fact that everybody has been saying that that's who the bad guy's going to be for time travel and whatnot.
It was the Mephisto of this season.
Well, I don't know. The hype for Kang's been real ever since we knew there was the rumor that there was going to be time travel in Endgame. People have been like, "Oh, Kang! It must be time travel. It's Kang!"
Right. But I thought it was cool that they made Kang not a time traveler, but more of like Quinn Mallory from Sliders or Rick Sanchez. Like he discovered the multiverse. He didn't discover time travel essentially in the MCU. I mean, I agree with a lot of you. I liked this episode. I was trying to think of it as if I didn't hear anything about Kang, and I was going into it like just watching it as a blind middle America person who knows nothing about it, and it would be very like disconnected for me for this guy to start talking.
Like, I'm nervous to show my dad this episode. I am.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah,
because my dad is like exactly that archetype. It's like, you know, he kept up with like the Marvel of the 60s because that's when he was growing up. But you know, I'm sure he knows nothing about Kang.
Well, Kang was very 60s laden. You know, he was
is
there.
He?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool if my dad actually
I'm pretty sure Kang was in the 60s. There's a very slim chance he could have been in the 70s, but I'm fairly certain he was the 60s. Yeah, it was a big 60s Avengers villain. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so here's where Jonathan Majors like won me over. Grow up, Sylvie, murderer, hypocrite.
That was good. Yes, I had a different moment with them, but that was good.
That was my favorite line.
He did intrigue me throughout the episode. He did. I just didn't feel much menace from him.
Well, that's the point. Right. He's not the menacing one, though.
Well, and that comes to like a theory that I want to talk about when we get kind of towards the end. But I don't know, how are you guys usually doing these? Are you recapping from the top? Are you just talking?
I mean, it's just sometimes the comments directed. Yeah, we can go around if you want. You know, sometimes the comments kind of steer us there, but you know, whatever.
Speaking of which, Beowulf just has a very pointed comment that I honestly kind of agree with. Not gonna lie. Says the stinger is a perfect summary of how this episode came off to me. Oh, you want resolution? Too bad. Wait for season 2 if you want that.
Okay, let me speak to the ending for a moment here. So, you know, here's what I like about the ending, just as a cliffhanger. I like that it's something that was kind of a realization that was under your nose from the beginning that we call out from the start, and it's just kind of like, what did you expect? At least at the kind of this season 1 kind of buffer here is that Loki constantly loses. That's the whole thing we set up there, is that Loki's destiny is to lose. So at the very least, you know, kind of at this juncture, sort of knowing there's going to be a second season, like, yeah, he's going to lose the first season. You know, Silva's going to kind of get the better of him, and you know,
the frustrating thing for me is the Mobius memory wipe,
which I'd like to think is going to be our foray into the jet ski, where Loki's going to like win him over with the jet ski.
I mean, that's fun. I'm just like, after we got like maybe one of the most epic bro hugs in the history of the MCU last episode, it feels frustrating that we have to go backwards on that relationship. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does, but if you want a bro hug, just go watch Onward, bro.
I mean, that's totally. That is a very bro hug movie.
Remotely the same thing.
But
no, I get what you mean. I mean, I think we've established Mobius just really got the short end of the stick in this finale. They dedicated a lot of time to the he that remains. Well, and okay, so before we really Dragon, I don't know if you finished your point about the ending because we keep kind of talking in a conversational manner, but like
it's okay. That's exactly how we do these things. It's all good.
Yeah, he interrupts me a lot. That's usually how it goes.
You're killing me. But I don't know. I think that like the beginning, I like the Miss Minute swerve. Like if we're kind of going back to the beginning of this episode, the Miss Minute swerve was really cool.
A jump scare.
Well, you know, the big thing Miss Minutes, it's kind of referenced in the comments here by Beowulf, was that there was a lot of explanation. Maybe Miss Minutes, even us in our various speculations of last episode, the penultimate, is that Miss Minutes might have been the big bad guy somehow.
I mean, I feel like with Miss Minutes, honestly, I'll take it. I'll take her being in line with Kang. Like that to me is at least it gives her more room to grow as a character, and Tara Strong definitely wasn't lying when she said there's more to her. So I
like to think like Miss Minutes is like the Tinkerbell to Kang's Pan. You know? like just she's all about whatever he wants, but she's got her own agenda somewhere.
I mean, you know, here's the way I kind of look at it with the last episode is that there was, you know, the eagle-eyed kind of, a lot of people are really eagle-eyed about looking at the parables to certain things like the design of the TVA and the lighting, and sometimes people make like a Wizard of Oz Oz comparison. I feel the
Oh,
most
I mean, there's got to be at least some sort of Wizard of Oz parallel. Like,
and I'm
I
saying
think it's obvious.
that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, episode,
Yeah.
the last episode is very much like, we're not in Kansas anymore, and then you have this episode is pretty much we've now reached Mr. Wizard, and then of course we have our big kind of scary Oz projection in the form of Miss Minutes, which I thought was kind of cool. Looking at that with that comparison.
Yeah, I thought it pulled off a couple things. It pulled off the fact that people like, Beowulf in the comments and others have speculated that Miss Minutes has some part to play. So not only the jump scare, but her appearing right then and there, it gives you that couple seconds of, "Ooh, I was right. It is Miss Minutes. She's back."
I will admit it did give me that. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like, so it pays that off, but then it gives you like the devil's bargain of she's still talking about the big boss and she's offering them a way to turn back now. It's like I said, everything in this episode is very much like you've seen some version of this before, but not with Loki and Miss Minutes and this story. Like, this is an original story, which is cool that we've been following. And I don't think that a story like this has ever even gotten a chance to be told on a scale like this. So
Josh,
it's really cool.
I'm curious about one thing with this show that's pretty contentious. What are your thoughts on Sylvie?
Dude, I mean, I hated her at first, to be honest.
Really?
Like, I did not, the actor, the character, I really was just not connecting. And then she won me over. And then this episode, I'm like, you dumb bitch. Like, what? Are you really gonna like go through all that and not learn anything? Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think besides, I think Owen Wilson not getting a big part to play in the finale was the most disheartening part of the finale. But I think just on a foundational level, Sylvie might be the most problematic element of the season as a whole.
Oh, and then the fact that she breaks down crying right after she kills him. Are you kidding me? Right. You just did it. You just did it. Like,
he's more upset about the Loki thing than I killed Kang.
You're inferring.
I mean, come on. Come on.
Did it bother anyone else that we didn't get a name, by the way?
A nickname for Sylvie?
No, for Kang. Like
He That Remains.
Well, we had, okay. I gotta explain. Okay, before we go further, I gotta tell you guys about the whole He Who Remains thing. All right, so
I mean, I vaguely know the context of that.
Are you talking about like the Immortus thing, Dragon?
I mean, the fact that they kind of spliced two characters together for Kang. I mean, let me put it this way. Let me circle back to the Miss Minutes thing. So I like the Miss Minutes serves, in addition to just kind of like the whole like, oh yeah, she might be the big bad, is that one, she hypes up He Who Remains, which basically is the TVA kind of tie-in of it all, which is very directly, it's kind of the lip service of like, hey, and it's kind of it's not a huge thing in the comics. It doesn't really come back much at all. It's like, hey, there is a guy, who He Who Remains who found the TVA. So we have that, but we make it interesting by actually doing Kang. Uh-huh. So, we've kind of given him like the nickname He Remains. We hype up the conqueror of it all. And I mean, again, like we don't say Kang, but I mean, that's because I guess we want to just kind of do like the official introductions and everything once we get like a legit Kang, once we get like the menacing, basically the statue Kang at the end.
That makes sense.
Because we still have to, like, essentially, from what I understand, I mean, again, now this makes me wonder if he's going to be the bad guy in Multiverse of Madness, but again, he is supposed to be in Ant-Man 3 essentially the main villain role.
Multiverse of Madness is coming before
Ant-Man. It is. 3, that's the thing. It is coming before, which now makes me curious about
I'm honestly thinking maybe Kang is going to appear in Multiverse of Madness, but not as the main villain, more as like a kind of like how Thanos appeared in Guardians Volume 1.
Yeah, sure.
Just kind of like, hey, here's the guy.
Yeah. But yeah, just like Miss Minutes also we kind of use her in the for the purpose of setting up Ravona Renslayer, which is going to be I'm based on this episode. I'm getting the fact that we officially have done Kang, which again the fear I had and the reason I'm so happy is the thing I hyped up my opening. I got my wish and I just wanted it to be Kang because all the speculation, all like the kind of the diversions of like, hey, we're thinking Mephisto, and hey, we're thinking this character and that character, and we don't do that. We do something else. It's like, what, guys? We keep hyping up Kang. Why can't we just do Kang?
Right.
No, 1,000%.
We ripped off the Band-Aid. Let's just do it.
Yeah. I think you guys know I'm a wrestling fan, or I used to be. I only watch a certain one show now because the other is disrespects my intelligence. Anyway, sometimes in wrestling storylines, it's like, just do the obvious. That's all we want to see. You don't got to swerve us just for the sake of swerving us. Like sometimes the most predictable is the best option for the story. And in this case, like it's like Dragon was talking about. Also, I love that this basically represents the fact that the MCU, as we've seen it from Iron Man to Loki, has been one timeline. Yes. And now we are finally going to expand at the end of it. So partially, that's why I'm almost forgiving all this exposition in this episode, because watching Loki and specifically this episode is going to make all these. I mean, it got me so hyped for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Is that what is it called?
Quantumania. Exactly? Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't hyped for that at all, and I'm so excited for that. And then What If, like this just really kind of was a cool way that it's definitely the cliffhanger, not just for the next season of Loki,
What If,
everything to come.
We're going to get like a framing device or something where this is what's causing the what if scenarios.
I'm assuming that What If is going to be individual stories that is tied together subtly by the watcher. And then it's at the very end, it's going to be like, oh, wow, wait, what did we just watch for 10 episodes? That's crazy. It'll have some sort of through line subtly that will become way more apparent at the end is what I'm theorizing.
Right.
Yeah, a couple things. One, Logan Palpatine in the comments says, hey, guys, hey.
Hey, Logan.
I also really like that username.
Secondly, just to get it in there somewhere, because we were speaking of kind of the whole timeline thing, the opening was really cool on this. The whole, like, what I tell you, for a moment I geeked out so much because when I heard they're playing, like, Captain America's song, the whole, like, it's been a long time, which, of course, is one, that's the song he danced to Peggy Carter with, but again, made me think, I know they're not, like, are we about to do a Luke Skywalker thing? We're about to, like, see,
can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
And we're going to see him going through time at the end, Return on the Stones. Like, are we going to go, like, are we,
I don't know, Dragon. Maybe Loki season 2 would be a good spot for that. I don't know.
We know Loki hates Captain America, so it makes me...
right. Oh,
anyway,
but no, I watched it.
I'm sorry, Dragon. That's great. That's a great idea. Just Captain America just coming in and like Loki just being like, God damn it, I never want to be saved by you.
Nice. I thought that it was really cool because I saw it and it was just jumbled. I was like, oh, cool, they're going through the timeline. But then I watched it again with some friends on the second watch, and we had closed caption on, and they specify every single line who says it exactly. It's so cool.
And I love that it comes up with each character on the screen.
In it.
Yep.
But it's not just Marvel characters.
I know. I love that. Like it's timed perfectly in the edit. Then it gets to like the Nelson Mandelas and everything. And
yeah, exactly. I thought that was. I'm super stoked. I see Beowulf is saying so hyped for What If. I'm very hyped for What If. And again, like that's so much of this episode. I'm giving props for getting me excited for everything to come, not just season 2.
I'm a sucker for What If already. Since the fact that we're finally
What If that's right around the corner, right? That's
August 11th.
Yeah. August.
Wow. Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I think another thing I had seen is I saw some theories going online about the fact that Kang in the comics is supposed to be a descendant from the Fantastic Four, right?
Yes, Nathaniel Richards, which is like, I don't know, it's the great-grandson or there's the great-grandson or I don't know, it's a distant grandson of Reed Richards. It's from the 31st century.
I've been seeing some theories that it's going to be, or that it might be him in the MCU, a descendant of Tony Stark versus Reed Richards.
I don't want to see that, honestly.
Interesting. What makes you so anti that immediately?
Too tied down with Tony Stark. I feel like we need to get away from Tony Stark.
I rewatched Iron Man 3.
Like Spider-Man is pretty much just Iron Man Jr.
Yeah.
Both of Spider-Man's bad guys are just like, we hate Tony Stark. Like I want to, like, the Tony Stark legacy can still be around for sure. I just don't want to.
We had Armor Wars and the Riri Williams.
Right.
That's where Iron Man legacy should go.
Right.
Well, I guess I just mean like, what are the plans with Fantastic Four? Do you know, Dragon?
Yes.
What the movies?
Presumably presumably the way they're doing it, based on that awesome kind of trailer they had with the Stan Lee the last Stan Lee interview put up there, is that Fantastic Four will be kind of our Avengers fill-in at the end of Phase 4. At least, God, I hope so, because I'm going to be really insulted if we're going to put the Fantastic Four in Phase 5. But no, so it's based on basically they had everything else as a date and everything. Fantastic Four doesn't have a date, but it's at the end of the lineup of all the announced movies. So presumably that's going to be their big capper to Phase 4.
That's 2023 then, yeah, because Ant-Man the Wasp.
Well, again, they didn't have a date attached to it, so it's a question of how many can they fit into a year based on all the craziness this year. We have 4 MCU movies this year. It's crazy.
Wow.
So,
what movie actually got me hyped for Fantastic Four? Oddly enough, is Black Widow.
I still haven't seen it yet. How recommend highly? I mean, I will watch it no matter what.
I mean, not highly. It's okay. It's a solid MCU movie. Definitely mid tier, but
I guess here's what I'll ask: how much of the movie furthers the MCU storyline, and how much of it is a prequel?
Well, I mean, it's a solid 95% prequel, but
ugh.
No, but I mean, you do get some solid world building from the Black Widow side of things, and
prequel, yes, but remember we introduced the replacement for Black Widow as a main component of that.
Of course,
so that's the main takeaway, Jeff. So it's prequel, yes, but still we're introducing the new blood.
Gotcha. No, I'm going to check it out for sure. I just don't know if I'm going to pay $30 on Disney Plus.
The season finale of Black Widow, the TV show, season 5, where she's leaving the show and passing it off to the more popular characters.
Okay.
If that analogy at all makes sense.
A little bit. All right, let's talk about my least favorite part about this show, Ravona.
Really? You're not crazy about Ravona?
As much as I was saying I didn't like Sylvie, it's 10 times more so for Ravona. I was just like, why is this the character they're using? It makes way more sense once we discovered that the variants are all just normal people pulled, or the TVA is just normal people pulled into these roles.
I love B-15 got Mobius's moment, in my opinion.
B-15 was also at least won me over. Ravona never won me over throughout the show. B-15 won me over hard.
Ravona had one moment for me, which was a really, really solid villain moment in episode 4, which is essentially Sylvie asking in the elevator, what was it? What did I do to cause you to go in and upend my whole life? And then Ravona's just very coldly I don't remember.
Yeah.
That was the one moment for me where it's oh, that's a cold bitch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and she's had a couple moments. She's not awful. It's just not. It's my least favorite. She's not magnetic, if that makes sense. She doesn't grab me when I'm watching her onto the screen. And I'm you're with Owen Wilson, you're with Mobius. I love him. I hate that he cares about you.
All right, so Josh, this won't assuage your feelings, but I mean, so Ravona, she very much ties into Kang, that she was the love interest of Kang the Conqueror, and given the fact we visited Ramona, we saw Ramona in the past when we basically had the big smoking gun of hey, Judge Renslayer, variant. And so basically it's the proof in the pudding there, and the fact that she's going, the Miss Minutes of all in the last time with the Miss Minutes thing is that she's setting up Ravona is going to go on a journey. I presume, my theory right now, and I mean, I don't know how much we can possibly cram into Multiverse of Madness. I'm not expecting it there, but what I am expecting is Ant-Man 3 to have very much kind of a stolen time premise, and that Scott Lang, it's going to be a father-daughter story.
I see Ravona showing up in Ant-Man 3 for sure.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is a stolen time, and maybe kind of a splicing with a love story, in that Scott Lang missed out on the years with his daughter he valued so much in those first 2 movies, and in you maybe see the humanity on Kang and why he cares about Ravona Renslayer, why he put her in charge and everything, which again, it's a question of if they're going to do the love thing, which just the fact that she's definitely going on some sort of journey that Miss Minutes kind of sent her off on. So I'm assuming it's going to take us there. So I think she could be
kind of pieced out.
What'd you say, Tiki? Sorry?
I said the Ravona thing, it kind of reminded me of how White Vision just sort of pieced out.
Oh yeah, just dip. Well, you brought up that scene, and that kind of, okay, here's the deal, folks. When you talk about time travel movies and TV, you start trying to poke holes in the theory, you can easily poke holes because it's theory we're talking about. So I don't want to, dwell too much on that. But if we're looking at time fourth dimensionally, I don't understand how Miss Minutes was taking a while when she was at the end of time to come back to the TVA.
She was lying, Josh.
No, I know, because Ravona came back, was like, what took you so long? In the sense of like, shouldn't it all be happening at once? Because time is fourth dimensionally already having happened.
Huh.
Like, when Miss Minutes like left Loki and says, yeah, good luck with that. And then went back to Ravona and she's downloading and she's like, what took you so long? Et cetera, et cetera. I'm just like, the what took you so long is like what threw me in regards to like, why wouldn't she just come back whenever she wanted to come back? I don't understand why that timeline at the TVA and the timeline at the end of time are running simultaneously. Yes, B Wolf, time is a weird soup.
Especially when it's chunky.
I just see that being a Poncio line for some reason.
Well, Josh, time's a weird soup.
No, I hear Poncio saying the chunky part, especially when it's chunky.
Yeah. Especially when it's chunky, Josh.
Yeah. Josh. Josh. Okay, anyway. But that whole thing
I'm just picturing the JGI sketch that's literally just you and Alex riffing on eating bowls of soup.
in a time loop.
Oh, God.
Okay, but I bring up the time theory because I kind of wanted to talk about that in what you guys got from the man or He Who Remains, that he's done this before. Mm-hmm. Like he kept dropping all these hints, like I'll end up right back here where I started at the end, right before he kills him. I'll see you soon.
Full ObiWan Kenobi vibes.
Well, even in the way he was like so playful and weird, it was like he's told all of this before. He's just having more fun with it because this is like not the first time he's having to say this. He's like, I'm not just gonna like rattle it off.
In a way, I kind of like what I read from it is like he's almost like unhinged because of how bored he is. You know what I mean?
But, yeah, I was a little more aligned with that. Where basically, I got like a Willy Wonka vibe. He's like, this variant of Kang. The idea is like one of the more like, the guy who's going to indulge in the pleasantries and like, he has nothing to fear because he, has time and control in the palm of his hand. Like this is the guy who invented like the whole like, time twisters, technology and everything. I just loved, just on the whole though. I mean, Jonathan Majors, of course, he was wonderful in Lovecraft Country, so we're in good.
Yeah, I still need to watch Lovecraft Country
because that one, that show is literally made for you. I don't.
Oh my gosh, that's the lead in Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, he's great, man. Yeah,
I've seen the first few episodes. Oh my god, he's great.
He's in that, and he's in
so different.
He's in that, and he's in Defy Bloods.
Oh, I haven't seen Defy Bloods, but yeah, I've seen Lovecraft, and I need to rewatch it because wow, he's great. Because his character is just vastly different. Mm-hmm. Sorry, continue your point.
Sorry. Well, so again, like his performance was really great, and I love I'll tell you my favorite moment of acting from Majors in this episode with the kind of the Kang, or at least the variant Kang, is that moment of just Majors' performance as Kang crosses the threshold and he realizes I no longer I fibbed earlier. I mean, I knew everything that went on up to this moment, but now I don't know what's going to happen. Which it basically then you kind of realizes, again, it's almost like a Joker logic thing, but it's a win-win where, okay, well, either, you kill me and then you get to suffer. I'm going to be back kind of reincarnated. Essentially, another variant of me is going to take over because that's what's going to happen when multiversal war breaks out. Or, you guys rule the place and continue my work. I win either way.
Yeah, it's funny you say Joker, and not just because I'm so tied to that character, but I was getting major Joker vibes if Joker ruled time travel, because just in the dialogue of what he was saying, when she's like, and it was the TVA that saved us all. Oh man, just being weird and creepy. With
right.
It.
Yeah.
But okay, well, you brought up the point again. so we crossed the threshold, meaning that he had lived all of that already up to that point. And
yes,
I was thinking of almost you guys have obviously seen Groundhog Day, yes?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so Groundhog Day, when he keeps dying or he keeps going through the days over and over to master it, that's what I felt like. Okay, so He Who Remains has lived this over and over again. He died by Sylvie right there in the elevator. So the next time he got there, he programmed it so he wouldn't die. Then he died again. Then he had to program it again. Like I was doing all this headcanon in my head.
I gotta be honest, Josh. I didn't overthink it that much. I assumed that basically we had like a little paper thing, right? And it has like the printouts, which is they kind of reference the thing we started with when Loki gets goes to the paperwork and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My read is that he somehow reverse engineered, so he knows what's going to happen, and that's how he knew. He read it all. He knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, you might be right. I'm just saying the way I read it was
the only part that blows up in my face is the threshold part. Because why is there now a certain point where he hadn't lived it yet and he can't read it yet? That's what I was my disconnect.
I think something changed, like something he knew was supposed to happen, and then it's like, now that's not supposed to happen. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know. Basically, I think he might have known the path, but now he doesn't know the path because it's forked in two. Of like, I don't know if who's going to win this fight of the Lokis about my fate here. And I know my fate's going to be one of those two things. I know that, but now I don't know who's going to win. I don't know what path's going to happen now.
I don't know. I hope that gets revealed, whether it's like what you're saying, he reverse engineered and he kind of had, or I mean, maybe they won't, but I in my theory, like even when he's like reincarnation, baby, like I'm like, oh, you keep coming up to this point. And I was just like, oh, now you're at the point where you haven't been before, finally. But I was under the impression that he's lived it over and over again, not just the fact that he had it, like he can print anything from any points. I don't know.
I have a cocky short. I have a shorthand for Kang. I love that he's kind of like cocky Kevin Feige.
Cocky Kevin.
Because he built the whole sacred timeline. He's the one. I love the idea of Kang basically arbitrarily. What we learn in Kang's background is really interesting. Basically, the variant 21st century scientist. You got buddy, then a few went rogue as conquerors. And the truth of the TVA, quite simply, is that you want to stop Alioth from growing massive and another multiversal war. So basically, you just got to stick with one timeline. You basically pick the MCU very arbitrarily. Well, this happened, so it leads in here and there and there. So he's like, I'll alter the timeline to make room for two Lokis. Sure, I just gotta, I don't really care what happens so long as it. With that whole Miss Minutes offer, you can kill the Avengers just so long as it fits a timeline. If I have to alter it, sure, I just gotta make sure it flows right.
Well, okay, so let's get our theory debate out of here, and let's talk about what was on screen. What do you guys think of the explanation moment where he's like the clay forming and showing everything he's talking about as a storytelling device, basically?
I love the Kintsugi design so much.
Is that what that's called?
I thought it was a really good callback to the first exposition dump that we got of the multiversal war
with the salad.
No,
the cartoon. We had
the Miss Minutes exposition dump. But Josh, I will. That is absolutely the best exposition dump of the season, like without question.
Yeah, the salad.
Oh, come on, my salad, Loki. Oh,
don't. No, not Surtur. No.
I just love how defeated Owen Wilson is in the moment that the milk gets poured.
I was looking for that salad.
No, it's not the stream of time.
All right, but no. But anyways, what I'm saying though is. That multiversal war that was like teased in the first Miss Minutes video, kind of like Jurassic Park style. Yeah. It's like now it's like fully realized. It's like, okay, like now we know the players. It wasn't just kind of like arbitrary, like, so like essentially, guys, it's Jet Li's the one, right? Can we agree that it's
Jet Li's the one? And I think this is the plot of Sliders season 4 and 5. Sliders season 4 and 5 is about. There's like a group trying to take over every dimension, and they're just going from world to world, taking them over. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that the cliffhanger, I guess, kind of to go just back to that. It's very much. What is it, like Planet of the Apes style, right? Like that final thing you see.
Planet of the Apes specifically.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's even more so. That was the one with the president was a monkey, right?
Lincoln. It's the Lincoln. Monument
That's even more so. Perfect. And I keep bringing up Sliders because I love that show and it's exactly what we're talking about. But there's cliffhangers at the end of Sliders where he goes and the president is a different person that they had just met in the world they came from, etc. Like it's a very much like we've seen this, but I felt like they built up Well, they spent the whole episode building this guy up and him threatening, if you kill me, it's going to be bad.
Mhm.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Oh, shit, he wasn't lying. So
I love that the ultimate liar said, no, he's telling the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so we talked about Jonathan Major's best moment. My favorite moment from Tom Hiddleston in this episode was one word: no.
Yeah.
And it was like when she was like, "Kill me, take your throne." No. Like, it was
Josh,
so
I'm so glad you brought that up, Josh. I would have forgotten to, but that absolutely was. That was a great. Yeah.
That was good. I had a different Hiddleston moment.
Oh, okay. I raise you and see it now.
Okay,
I will say that for all my disappointment with Owen Wilson kind of getting slighted, Tom Hiddleston, he absolutely got time to shine this finale. Like I felt very satisfied with the way that his arc ended up for sure.
Yeah.
How it came down to him not wanting a throne. I love that that's like the big symbol that his arc kind of hinges on.
And the wording was really beautiful too, because it would have been so weird for him to be like, "I love you" or something, but he was like, "I just want you to be okay."
I'm still
I want to know this.
I'm not crazy that we went there.
Yeah, but what was your favorite Hiddleston line, Dragon?
Well, it's not so much a line, just the rawness of the performance at the very end, where he's just like, it's Loki with just others like kind of sincerity of just like, it all went wrong, Mobius. I just like he's just so wounded at the end there about it's like we lost and we got to the end of time and everything, and then of course then he has the realization upon the statue and everything, and just like Mobius kind of cut him off like, you're an analyst, right? Who are you? What's your name? It's like, wait, what? And it's like just that's the rawness of vulnerability to his friend.
Like when he asked like, you're an analyst, right? Like did anyone else get the fact like at first did anyone else get that was like kind of like a fake out of like Owen Wilson was kind of like trying to prop Loki up, like, well, you're an analyst, right? So what should we do?
No, I instantly felt something was wrong there. Wait a minute.
I knew something was wrong, and in my head I heard dun 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 dun.
No, Doc, I'm back from the future.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's like, how are we gonna stop that? We can't. It was so good. I mean, is there anything else that we've missed that we haven't brought up?
Imagine if Owen Wilson was I'm sorry, just really quick. Imagine if Owen Wilson was in the situation with Loki, and then they come back and they look at the Kang statue, and then just the season ends with the most dramatic Owen Wilson. Wow.
Yeah. I would have made up the jet ski for you.
I think that Owen Wilson saying "wow" is so in the zeitgeist of pop culture that it would have been acceptable. It would have been very yeah. All right. Okay, sorry.
He's got to say "wow" when he gets his jet ski. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for.
Oh yeah, he's got to. All right, so again, the design work on the Citadel and everything's great. We have like some kind of interesting, like we have like one of the Timekeeper statues is shattered, which I think it's like kind of a hint for season 2 that maybe there is like at least one real Timekeeper, possibly. I don't know.
Do you mean when they walk in originally?
Yeah, when they walk in, there's
I noticed that
statues
too. There was one. I noticed that. I thought it was Kang.
That's a thing. I don't know if it is Kang or if it's like a full.
This is our theory.
Yeah. Now, the Kintsugi thing. So, Tiki and I, we've talked about this many times with the Kidding show. So, Kintsugi is it's an art style where basically you break something and you kind of fuse it together with gold, and it's like a white statue, and it's held together with gold. So the idea, so it becomes strong. It's like when you break a bone or something, and it's repaired, it's stronger. That's the idea. So the Kintsugi kind of gold, kind of cracks and everything, symbolizes the branching of time, and basically I think the ultimate message is variants make you stronger, which essentially has been the point this whole time. Like, no, we shouldn't be pruning variants. We should embrace the variants, embrace the alternate the timelines and everything, free will and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh wait, so the Kintsugi is the cracks in the building, not necessarily the models. And the
models. It's on the models too. When he does like little projections, it's all over the place. It's his whole shtick. So yeah, the Kintsugi is representative of the kind of whole branching time thing.
Damn. Yeah. No, I mean that the symbolism in this show, like just what you brought out, and then just everything behind you. That whole intro with the timeline or the time stream, rather. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like this show is so grandiose. in the story it's telling, but it can back it up with the visuals and the VFX and everything, which is really cool. And then because I feel like they do the visuals and VFX so well, they can get away with almost the whole show being exposition. A little fun.
I had one nitpick with this episode, really. Just a small nitpick.
Ravona, right? She sucks. No.
Much smaller and simpler than that. When we saw the awesome Kang statue at the end, where he's pretty much wearing like the outfit and everything of like the dictator, conqueror Kang. I just wanted to wear the helmet. That's the one thing that's missing. Just give him the helmet.
I think they needed to be like, oh, people won't get it. Again, like they didn't explain. That would have been for all the hardcore fans, but not for the people who would watch that episode. If that
it's like it's so close though. It's like it's right there. Just give him a helmet, a little thing, not like a full helmet. Just give him a thing around the side. Anyway,
I watched a Kevin Feige interview where he was talking about the Loki show though, and he was saying how he talks about like the Avengers was a dream to do that 20 years ago, like to tell this story we never thought we would ever get to. So that being said, I get that they have to not dumb it down, but they kind of dumb it down. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think that would have been a really cool Easter egg, especially after I went back. Because, after the show ended, I was like on the computer immediately. Like, I got to research who Kang is.
Listen, if you want to see a great take on Kang the Conqueror, it's on Disney Plus. Look into Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Nice, yeah.
The Great Avengers animated show.
Mm-hmm. Is there a whole like arc with him basically?
Yeah. Kang's got a whole thing. I forget if his story does tie into the Captain America story, but it's really it's a Kang. I can't remember if he's bigger in season 2, but he's like you thread the needle with him in 1. He has a big payoff. I can't remember which season it's in out of the 2, but he's there.
Well, I am very excited for what's to come. What are you guys looking forward to the most out of the upcoming, like, what if Doctor Strange, SpiderMan, or Ant-Man?
Doctor Strange.
Look, the easy answer is Doctor Strange, but I tell you, I've wanted this what if thing for a long time, and it's between. What if's like the fan thing for me is like I love what if already, and I've always like what if we did what if with the MCU, and we're finally doing it.
That's awesome,
and we're getting another season
where it lines up perfectly. Like I can't think of a better show to follow up Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think Doctor Strange is going to be like the next Civil War as far as just like a big impact on the.
Well, what's interesting, Tiki? I know that is the apt comparison, but with this Kang stuff with the Ant-Man, Ant-Man might actually turn into, given it's the 3rd movie in that franchise as well, it could actually turn into the Civil War.
That's what's so awesome about
the MCU. Is something though, bro. Like it's like that's at least like a 3rd Avengers movie. Or like a 1/3 Avengers movie,
The name, the Multiverse of Madness, just opens the door that anybody could show.
Right.
We're definitely building to it.
And that alone just gets me super excited.
Oh yeah. Dancing Tobey Maguire is coming back.
Well, again, Josh, you already know this, and he and I were looking very forward to the Charlie Cox's role in assuming there is a role in Spider-Man No Way Home. We're very much looking forward to that.
I'm looking up who Charlie Cox is.
Daredevil.
Oh, nice.
Matt Murdock.
Wait,
he's
going to be like, he's going to play Daredevil in Spider-Man?
Well, that's what we're hoping for.
Our fingers, Josh.
We want it very badly. I'm wondering because the word is he's going to be in. I don't trust anything.
Josh.
So here's the big thing, okay? I'm imagining assuming he's in it because I don't trust anything with this movie at all. Until I see it.
Honestly, I will be more excited for Charlie Cox than I will be for fucking Tobey Maguire or whatever, because Charlie Cox is like, that's less fan service and more like a legitimate thing that we can actually do stuff with.
Mark my words, Josh. We're gonna do one of two things with this Charlie Cox thing. All right. Best case scenario that will elate everyone across the globe. Okay, you have just again pretty simple, straightforward. Spider-Man needs a lawyer. Call in Matt Murdock. Plan B, multiverse it, which will basically put him in the world, but won't be like, it was there the whole time, which is what they want. Because right now, and this is what's bothering me, I adore Kevin Feige, but right now he's saying something, he keeps underwriting all the TV shows pre-Disney Plus. And it's like, no, we had Agent Carter and everything. It's impossible. What are you saying?
Is it? But he didn't produce the ones that were on Netflix, did he?
No, no, we didn't. But essentially, they're working under the assumption that they are in the MCU very clearly, and there's literally a show with Agent Carter where you have all the actors from the MCU.
I mean, Agent Carter
in the
show. MCU proper, right?
Yes,
and
he's saying
Agent
it's
Carter
not.
and
He's crazy. Yeah. He's so brilliant, but he's crazy on
this. All right, Dragon, calm down.
He's crazy with power, Dragon. He's crazy with power. Are you guys looking forward to Doctor Strange more, or that Flash movie with Michael Keaton?
Doctor Strange.
Well, obviously, I mean, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
that's not even a question. They're not even announcing the Reverse Flash.
I might be looking forward to Eternals more than the new Flash movie.
Okay, well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, come on.
But I'm looking forward to that Jon Snow and his brother reunion. He died at that red wedding. I cried. I can't even think of the actor now. Anyway, but no, I'm super stoked for everything to come, man. I thought Loki was a fun ride. Just kind of move into my overall thoughts on the episode and the series. Knowing that there's a season 2 going into it. Also, another thing I want to bring up, I'm very excited for them to shoot season 2, not in COVID. They shot the whole show in COVID. And I think that it's apparent in certain aspects of the storytelling. And I think that will change in season 2 if they can shoot without restrictions.
Oh, totally.
So, yeah, I'm very excited for what's to come. And it was a great, fun ride that I think ended not on the highest of high notes, but it ended how it should. Here's one last question I have before you guys go into final thoughts. Are we getting Loki season 2 before Ant-Man and the Wasp? Because that's 2023. Are we getting Loki season 2 in 2022?
We are. I'm operating. They've announced all the shows, at least up to this year, about they've given dates to the shows that are coming this year, and everything else is just kind of amorphously. It's coming in this order, just probably 22 onward. Now, I'm assuming Loki will be 2022, as my assumption. It's the question of, I don't think they've shot it as fast that it's going to come before Doctor Strange 2. I don't think we're going to get.
No, it's definitely not going to come before Doctor Strange.
So I think smart money is it's going to be after Multiverse of Madness, so that's going to be after March. It's the question of let's see. I'm inclined to think it's going to be a lead-in for Ant-Man 3. That's my instinct, but
that could very well be.
Yeah, that sounds right on the money, because they could end it and then Ant-Man comes out within the month, and
Right.
That would be my instinct, but it's also possible that it comes out right after Ant-Man. Like, hey, Ant-Man's come out, and here's this. It leads into it. Get kind of a sequel, at the comfort of home,
Well, just a quick Google. The top result comes out as late 2022, early 2023, which would put it exactly as you're saying, right before Ant-Man. So,
all right. Well, there you go.
Sweet. You guys want to give your final thoughts?
Well, instead, Josh, why don't we have you? We're not really doing that anymore. I think you summed it up perfectly. But why don't you plug the new thing you got going on?
I would love to. Guys, if you want to laugh every single day, go to JKTV. You can find all of our links for all of our platforms. If you go to Linktree, it's linktree.com/JKTEEVEE. And you'll see our YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff there. And it's me and Kelsey Probilski releasing a funny video under a minute every single day, Monday through Friday. So please check it out. And yeah, that's what's going on right now.
All right, right on. And of course, folks can check you out at Just Giggle It, and of course, Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, among
check
other
out the new audio dramas.
I also want to just throw out there, please, thanks for your patience in regards to getting around to covering your Joker audio series. It's wonderful so far. We've just been really jam packed with stuff we need to get done. So
Oh, yes.
So-
And I mean, and I can't wait for you guys to cover that. And if you're wondering what the heck they're talking about, go to Just Giggle It. The most recent videos are audio dramas based on Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. One of them, the Joker's talking to a priest. The other one is Harley Quinn and the Joker meeting. Oh my God, are you kidding me? So yeah, I can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts on it. And I thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Okay, well, that'll do it for us this week as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw. Mono y mono. Just plus. And us.
Dog, grow up! Grow up, Sylvie! Murderer! Hypocrite! We're all bad guys here.
Hey, y'all!
For all time, always.